time.
What's up, party people? How's everybody doing? See, quite a few of you showing up already, which is awesome. I'm glad we got a decent turnout for Thanksgiving evening. Hopefully, everyone has some really nice family plans. Hopefully, everyone's family's playing nice. Ours is playing pretty nice, pretty good, pretty good. I'm looking forward to seeing some family I haven't seen in a while, eating some turkey, doing my thing. Let me know in the comments and stuff what you guys are all up to. Gals, I should say. It's mostly women in our little club here. And in the meantime, let me pull up our program for this evening. So, I was taking a look at the guided journaling library that we have here at Journal Party, and I noticed it's been a little while since we've done like a shadow work kind of thing. So, well, I think it's right that we do it. So this evening, this one's gonna specifically dive into the masks that we wear. That's why it's called the masks that we wear. And I'm sure y'all are probably aware that in life part of life is just is playing the roles that we've been assigned, that we choose for ourselves, and sometimes it's useful. I mean, it'd be kind of weird if you went to, go to order a sandwich at Subway and they weren't playing the role of the sandwich artist, right? So sometimes it's good, but every now and then I think it's useful to take a look at what's under the mask and see if you're doing your core self, who you really are, justice. And not to say that you aren't, but some awareness never hurt anybody. Well, I shouldn't say that. Sometimes awareness is painful, isn't it? But anyway, semantics. So this evening, we've got a really, really nice program. This is in our shadow work lab, if you want to find it later. And real quick, let me just take a look. I see we got a lot of people in here. Kyra, Deidre, Amanda's here. Kathy, Alvina, Candy. Well, okay, cool. So we got a lot of folks. Anybody new tonight? Mary Kay's in the house. Got the projector going. Big screen. Woo! I always wanted to be on the big screen. It's funny, it didn't work out Hollywood style, but this is better. Hollywood's weird. Deidre, all the prep work is done. Just a couple final items to finish it all off. It's gonna be a good day. Yeah, I'm gonna do some root veggies, and I have one of those big green egg Kamado grill smoker things. So I'm gonna like smoke some carrots and vegetables and stuff. It'd be good. All right. So Angelic, Love Strong, first time making it to a live. Well, welcome. Paul seems to be new as well. Welcome, Paul. Alex and the gals. Yep. We got to change that though. I'm working on it. I'm making some programs specifically for men, just because. I mean, how much better would the world be if more men journaled, right? I mean, I know I can't speak for my entire gender, but I know that we're not always the best. So, a little bit of that self-awareness could definitely go a long way for us. But that said, this evening's program is for everyone. And so, if you're new this evening, Paul, Angelic, welcome. This is our little club, Journal Party, and you are on Journal Party Live. And so, for those who are uninitiated, it's pretty simple what we do here. This is typically where we debut the newest programs inside of the Journal Party guided journaling app. And so feel free to scan that QR code, or you can just go to the Apple App Store or Google Play and get the app. You don't need the app tonight. I will be streaming it on the screen here for everybody. But if you ever want to go through these programs at your own leisure, or check out the replays, you can actually even stream the Journal Party Live events through the app as well. And so it's a pretty cool little tool to have. You don't journal into the app. It's meant to be a companion to your physical journal here. And so tonight we've got 10 prompts for you. The program is the masks we wear, as I was discussing earlier. Going to be diving into some shadow work adjacent type stuff here, taking a look at the roles that we play, how we show up in the world, and at the end, typically what we do is we share our insights. So you never have to share what you write. So I want you all to be brave this evening, be courageous if you can, and no one's going to be checking your work, grading it, or anything like that. But if you do get any nuggets of wisdom that you are willing to share with the tribe at the end, that's typically when we do it. So after we finish all the prompts, we'll all hang out, catch up with each other, and share some stories and things like that. So it's a good time. These prompts, these ones can get a little bit deeper. So again, I challenge you to challenge yourself and be bold with them. That said, don't get hung up if you don't have like the perfect response. If you catch yourself judging yourself, our mantra here is just start writing. So even if you don't have the answers, I sometimes write down the prompt, and just getting my pen moving helps me write. And even if I'm not getting the insights that I'm looking for, like sometimes I'll not catch myself, but just when I don't have anything to write, it's like I don't know what to write, and that's okay. Like this is supposed to be a bit of a workshop of the mind for yourself, and so you have to be gentle with yourself, and also realize that these personally, I think that these insights come when they're meant to come. And so for me, oftentimes, even if in the moment I don't have the perfect answer to a prompt, I will often emerge with insights later in the evening, or later in the week, later in the month, etc. So just try to have fun with it. There's no wrong way to do this. So I think it's going to be a good time. So if everyone's ready, it's wow, we're already 12 after. So it's time to get this party started. We got 10 prompts, 3 minutes per prompt, and then we'll all hang out. Take a quick check to see. All right, class is a newbie. Welcome. Hopefully you heard my spiel there. All right. And yes, Alvina has a book that has come out. Definitely check out Alvina's book. I forgot the name of it, but I know she shares her story of I think it was growing up against some tough circumstances in Hawaii. So pretty cool stuff. Anyway, always wanted to support the tribe here, but let's jump right in. So I'm gonna hit the start now button. I will read the prompts to you, kind of disappear in the background. Let me know if the music's too loud, if you can't hear me, or anything weird technical happens or anything like that. But the gist of it is, when you see the prompt, just start writing, and we'll get through it and hang out at the end. All right, cool. Let's start. Alrighty. First prompt: defining the mask. Describe one mask or role you often wear in public. How does it serve you in your daily life? You ready for the next prompt? Beneath the surface, what emotions or truths do you hide when wearing this mask? All right. A moment in the mask. Think of a recent moment when you felt yourself playing a role. What triggered it and how did it feel? All right, the origin story. When did you first adopt this mask? Was it to meet a need or protect yourself? Next one, the cost of wearing it. What are the downsides of wearing this mask? How does it limit you? All right, here comes your next one. Letting the mask slip. Have you ever let someone see beneath this mask? What was their reaction? Next one is your authentic self. If you removed this mask completely, what would your true self want to say or do? the many masks. List the different masks you wear in various parts of your life. For example, work, family, social settings. How are they different? Reclaiming energy. What would you gain emotionally, mentally, or physically if you no longer needed to wear this mask? Okay, get ready for your last prompt of the evening. Integration. How can you honor the purpose this mask once served while allowing your authentic self to shine more freely? All right. So, eager to see how everyone did with this one. This one, maybe a little bit more difficult than some of the ones that we've done in recent weeks. And I was taking a look at some of the comments in here. We definitely have a wide range of experience and masks that people wear or don't wear, and so appreciate everyone sharing in the comments and everything during this. I know it's not always easy to write and type and all of that stuff, but I always enjoy it when I've got the comments flowing through. Um, so yeah, for the new folks, typically this is when we put down our pens for a minute, kind of think about the questions, the things that we wrote, and see if we have any insights here. And before I share mine, I wanted to say. I saw Paul was a little bit concerned that maybe he was doing it wrong, or and I just want to say for me, I had one mask that I was for the most part addressing all these prompts to and with, but that said, there was other times in here where I had to be a little bit more flexible and kind of explore other roles and other masks and other aspects of this just to get something out of it. And I think it's really important to have that flexibility when you're doing self-reflection, particularly with prompting and power prompting, just because the purpose of these prompts is to very quickly shift your mind and keep it on track and keep it focused. And that's why we have the playlist of the prompts with the timers and things like that. But that said, there's and we're all different. There's no one size fits all for this thing. And so it definitely is useful to be able to, take a prompt, leave a prompt. Not all of these are going to be 100% applicable to you, and that's a-okay. I think the goal here is just to kind of break you out of your standard perspectives. I think it's very easy for a lot of us to get into autopilot, particularly with things like the roles that we play and the masks that we wear. And that's not to say these masks are good or bad, or that we need to judge them in any way, shape, or form. And this whole process is more so we can kind of break out of our usual, out of the box way of thinking, and find new ways to look at things. Often we find answers to problems, we find solutions to problems, and we find just different ways to color our experience, and as we reintegrate with that different perspective. I think we're doing ourselves a service, because when we limit our perspectives, when we get so deep into our identities and these roles and these things like that, or just having to have things need to be a certain way. That's a huge one for me. It's very limiting, and as human beings, like, I think our actual essence is pretty unlimited when you break yourself out of the body, and even the mind, right? So I want to thank everybody for being willing to explore these prompts together, and hopefully you got something out of it. For me, I realize I wear a lot of masks, and that's a weird thing for me to admit to myself, because I typically, as part of my identity that I believe myself to be, is someone who is just authentic, and that's not to say that some of these masks aren't different, aren't authentic in their own ways. But it's interesting to the most interesting one for me was the many masks one, where I basically just broke down all the different roles and masks that I wear. I mean, in one sense, I'm the journal guy. I show up here and try to be a good human being and have insight and wisdom to share with everybody. And that's good, but it tototally ignores that I have garbage days. Sometimes I'm a jerk. It's useful to play the journal guy, the journal party host here. It serves the purpose of these meetings that we have, but it's definitely just one aspect of the self, and to try to identify only as that would be doing myself a disservice. In addition to that, right, I'm a fiance to my future wife, and that means all sorts of things, and I'm a friend, and I found the fiance and friend role very similar, which was kind of cool, because I'm like, okay, it's good that I'm friends with my fiance. In one sense, I wear the mask of a good son, right, to my mother, and I found that mask is kind of similar to the journal guy, right? Like, I try to be a good boy, right? And so that was kind of interesting to compare those two. Another one, I thought it was kind of silly. I'm a goofy dog dad to my dog, and he must just think who does my dog think I am? Probably thinks I'm awesome, but I'm just thinking, man, if I came at everybody the way I came at my dog, I think that'd be pretty interesting. I saw Paul on here had to share about how he is with other Christians, and I identify as a Christian myself, and I realized that, when I was in community groups and things like that, and when I'm with other church folk, it's it's a little different than the journal guy. It's a little different than the son, but it's this. I mean, I think Paul said gentle. It's try to play the role of a good disciple, and it's just it kind of. I mean, I guess it's a useful role. That's the role. We're as Christians, you're called to play or whatever. But it definitely it doesn't really shine a light on the times where I don't meet the mark. And then, for a long time, I was a musician, an artist, and an actor out here in Los Angeles. And, I was always just too cool for school. And it's funny though, because I had a really hard time actually selling that mask and to, as like who I was. Like, even though I was in this, like, I thought we were a pretty cool band. And, I felt really cool being in it. Like, I just remember my bandmates used to get kind of annoyed with me because even though we were all like trying to be real cool and I was on the bass and like bass facing and everything like that, like, um, I was just having such a good time that I couldn't help but like have this really stupid smile on my face, looking like a total dork. And so yeah, I didn't really wasn't super successful with that mask. Maybe that's why I'm only on the big screen for Journal Party Live for some of you folks. But yeah, interesting stuff for me here. And then I realized like I have kind of this like public facing mask, and that was the one that I addressed most of these prompts with, which is I think that actually, it publicly, outside of this whole thing, like, I think sometimes I wear this mask that's, can be a little bit abrasive and kind of like a wise ass. And I don't, well, I was trying to dig down, like, why is it? Like, what do I get out of that? And, I, I have an idea about it. I mean, so, I'm almost 39 years old, but I've always had a real baby face, and I always had a lot of grief about that growing up because, like, I felt like even though I was like really smart, I thought I was really smart, to my own horn, but I felt like I felt like people weren't taking me seriously, or maybe I wasn't getting respect, or whatever it was. So I think I sort of crafted this like not not quite know it all, but like sort of this like hardened exterior that now that I look at it, it's like a little bit, maybe a little bit more abrasive. And like if I got rid of it, like maybe I could have more fun, maybe I could be open to other perspectives, meeting new people, maybe I would have more friends, maybe I'd have more fun. So pretty useful exercise for me. So I enjoyed it. So anyway, let me take a look here. We got some comments from the group. Let me hide our program here. And there we go. All right, cool. So let's see. Oh, we lost our music. There we go. All right. Mary said at the end of that, I feel my authentic self would want to tear stuff up and be slightly psycho. Yeah, totally. I mean, I think sometimes like antisocial behavior like that is like an authentic expression. Not that it needs to last or whatever, but yeah, I mean, I have that myself. I mean, I mentioned like, even though I'm like, journal guy or whatever, and good son, all these things, like sometimes like, man, I can be a jerk, or like I just, want to break something. Like, it is what it is. It's okay. Kyra said to Mary, that's something to unpack for sure, and also same. So yeah, you're not alone. Deidre said, I want to go to one of those destruction rooms where you can throw things and break things. Totally. Oh, I've never done that. I almost went to one once, and I don't know what happened. It seems like a good time. I think I'm a little afraid I'd hurt myself though. I'd probably be the guy who ends up with like copy machine shards in his eyes or something like that. Kathy said, labels happen even to those without disabilities because people are judgmental regardless. It's true. Yeah. Although that said, seeing some of those comments coming through made me realize that, I'm quite ignorant of the experience of people with disabilities, and can maybe be ableist in a certain sense. And so it's always interesting to get other people's perspectives here and kind of get a little slice into somebody else's life. I think it makes us all better. Kathy says, I wear many masks: the mom, the advocate, the survivor, the student, among quite a few more. Yeah, I mean, and they can all be useful. I think people freak out when you don't play the role that is traditionally called for in a moment. Have you ever done that? Like, you ever, what it makes me think of? Like, what's the movie? One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. I mean, not not that they were like requiring Jack Nicholson's character to be playing the role of somebody who was, well, actually, yeah, no, they were very upset that he didn't think that he ought to be there, and I thought it was interesting. Yeah, he was kind of breaking out that role, you know. Um, I mentioned like my community church groups before. I mean, I rarely share very much of my faith and coming to it here. I never want to make this like a religious thing per se, but in terms of my experience, like I would say that whole process for me was very non-traditional, not like a normal way. Like I wasn't raised with religion or anything like that, and happy to share testimony with anybody whoever wants to hear it. But my coming to that was very not like the classical sense, right? And so I would find myself going to these community groups just to like try to see like, all right, like what's everyone else's take on this? And while even though like I would kind of play that role a little bit, I did have a lot of fun kind of breaking out of it, and I think it was useful though, because everyone was so into their like good Christian roles that like nobody was asking the questions that we probably all needed answers to. And not to say that all those folks had all the answers or anything like that, but it's so easy when we kind of toe the line to just kind of sleepwalk through things, and we don't get the actual wisdom, the understanding that we need, that authenticity that we're looking for, unless we kind of break the mold a little bit. So yeah, I had some fun with that one, and everyone was cool about it too. I mean, that's the other thing I realized here. It's like if you actually shed at least the masks that don't always serve you, and they probably don't serve you all the time, but like when you shed them and you actually expose that authenticity, at least for me, I found that like in exploring that in my mind, it's like, oh well, if I actually took that off, I would probably get all the things that I put the mask on to get in the first place. That authenticity would get me the respect and get people to pay attention and get people to listen, and certainly not, being a jerk or, being standoffish or acting like a know-it-all or, like I'm too cool for school or anything like that. All said, good experience. Masks can be inauthentic or real. Never thought of it. Yeah, I mean, it's it that I think that's the thing is we're all so much more than the clothes we wear, the face that we put on every day, and it's useful for us to interact with each other, because again, people kind of freak out if you weren't kind of doing the dance that we've all learned here. But it's also real useful to break out of it now and then, especially when things aren't working. Whenever you need to shake things up a little bit, it's useful to kind of peel back the curtain a little bit and just try to get that other perspective. Kathy says, I wear my masks to cover my insecurities, and they display their skills in different levels, even though they overlap. Need to show perfection and strength in nearly all. Yeah, I feel that. I feel that for sure. I mean, I definitely... Yeah, because I think, with the one that I was exploring, it's like, oh, like I'm really just trying to cover up like a lot of, fear, a lot of like, self-doubt and things like that. And, that's because that's like not how I want to show up. Like I don't want to show up as like a fearful individual or somebody who's not, not in good authority or whatever. And so, you put on a show for everybody, and the irony of that is at least for me and my explorations here, I think all that extra respect that I was looking for actually comes when I check the bullshit at the door. Oh, the light's going out over here. All right, Deidre, I think roles masks serve a purpose for specific situations, and they can help us grow into better people. They can be draining if you don't recharge yourself, for sure. Yeah, I think eventually, like, you just got to connect with like the actual truth, and people are starved for the truth, and so it's useful to reveal it sometimes. Annie says, there have been times I have been really honest about a painful truth, and the person I revealed it to used it later to throw it in my face later. So it makes it hard to figure out who you can trust. Yeah, that's really tough. And I, without oversharing here or bringing this into like a darker place or anything like that, I've got, look, I'm sure we've all got our those sorts of things that we would be real reluctant to share with somebody for fear of exploitation. And personally, I know that I've held on to secrets for decades, and it wasn't until I found a therapist that I really, really trusted, that I was able to actually fully expose some of that stuff. And fortunately, it actually made me realize like how little power that needed to hold over me. And so it was really nice to unburden it. But I would have only been able to do that, within the context of that very specific, like, talk about roles, right? Like that is a pretty, I mean, almost sacred sort of role that you would have with a counselor like that. And so, because of that sort of safety net, it allowed me to actually reveal something that I probably would still have, a hard time revealing, to, just even good friends. So, thanks for that share. It's and I would, without knowing what the painful truth is, without needing to know, just know that I think it's more common than you think to have those sorts of things and to have those sorts of fears around that. Kathy says, it's emotionally and mentally exhausting to wear these masks. Sometimes I feel like I'm losing my authentic self, but how can I lose what I don't fully know myself? Kind of feels like imposter syndrome. Yeah, I agree. Paul said, how funny on the musician, but not unexpected. As far as the baby face, wait until you go to your 50th high school reunion. It will pay off. People have been telling me that my whole life. You're going to love it when you're older. And you know what? I do love it. I do love it. Although, there are certain things like you just can't fight. And like, we've got these, I've always like been like happy that I have like a good head of hair, but we've got these security cams around our house. And the other day, well, not the other day, this is a while back, and I've been trying to fix it ever since. But I caught myself like on the security cam footage, and I'd like seeing a bald spot for him, and I'm like, no, it's just, yeah. So I'll be like the baby face old guy is what I'm afraid of. But you know what? Yeah, better than like well, who's to say what's better than anything else? But yeah, I'm not complaining. I'm happy with my lot. He says, Shakespeare said all the world's a stage, masks required, for sure. Nahal, some of the masks are very heavy. I feel at 58 I'm exhausted under the pressure of what is expected of me constantly. That's interesting. So without knowing, what kind of pressures you're up against, maybe check what you expect of yourself. And for me, it's always useful to bring those sorts of things back to the question of like, am I needing the approval of others? And I think what I typically find is that while I very much overvalue the approval of others, it's actually the approval of myself that I'm looking for. So, bland cold read on that. Deidre said, I don't think we're here to fully conform, but to learn and grow from our experiences. Masks can help us reach new levels if we dig deeper. Totally, totally. Paul said, I broke the mold at a men's fellowship recently as I was searching for an answer on a deep religious subject. That's cool. Yeah, I mean, and sometimes I think it takes like it takes like kind of doing that to get the attention that you actually need, to actually like have those sorts of conversations and get those sorts of answers, because otherwise, again, we're all just on this like autopilot. It's very easy to be, rather. Diane said, I identify as a retired, lifelong, hardcore alcoholic, and when I sobered up, I had to meet myself and swim in the mess I'd been sweeping under the rug. Ran out of room under there. Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, thanks for that share. Yeah, yeah. I mean, it must have been a sobering experience, right? Um, but that's the thing. I think it's only in the here and now that we can actually do something like that. And eh, no matter how big the mess is, like you're not gonna do it in the future. You're not, you haven't taken care of it in the past. So it's like, okay, well, here and now, if you can kind of become aware of that mess, like even if it's a big mess, you can only do that in presence. And so, it sounds like you've had that sort of realization now. Nahal, amen. Without recharging ourselves, we fall apart. I feel like my soul's check engine light has been on for a long time. I've not been given permission to deal with it. Oh, yeah. Well, give yourself permission. I give you permission to deal with it. Self-care, and that's what this is. This journaling thing. I think it's good because even though you can, I mean, personally, I can be really hard on myself in these sorts of things, but it's I think it's also where I find a lot of grace and a lot of forbearance for things. And so you spend enough time kind of picking that stuff apart, and eventually you realize you can endlessly pick it apart, or you can make the decision to have a different experience. And so yeah, I think, yeah, you're good people, Nahal. I think you deserve to feel like you've been a well-serviced engine. Kathy said, definitely understand that. It's so much work meeting all those expectations. Give yourself permission to deal with it. Yep, I'm learning to do that myself. And Diane said, my liver thought so. I almost died. Yikes. No one thought I would live. I didn't quit willingly. Yeah, well, that's a tough one. I mean, I wouldn't say I don't identify as an alcoholic, but I had a few scary moments in my 20s where there's some substance where it is like, man, like I could have a problem here. I could either, right? And I fortunately I had enough presence in that moment to deal with it and to really nip it in the bud, cut it off like gangrene. And you know everything inside of me was screaming not to, though. So I'm glad it you get, it sounds like you got plugged into the circles you need to get plugged into to work on that, and glad you're here with us today for sure. Paul said, journaling definitely helps find out what you need to work on. If you reread your journal, the responses tonight confirm that we're all in the same boat. Totally. We're all, just shards of the same big old diamond, I think. And, what a beautiful one at that. So appreciate everyone for, being vulnerable and sharing and hanging out here. Let's, real quick, let's raffle off Journal Party card deck. All right. So if you're still around, you are still eligible. And let's see who it's going to here. All righty. The winner is me. All right, I gotta do it again. All right. Next, I shouldn't even be eligible. I'm surprised. All right, let me try this one more time here. All right, who's gonna win the Journal Party Self-Discovery deck? Angelic Lovestrong. Is Angelic still with us? I know it was the first timer there. So I think we need to make a new rule for sure. Like, you have to be here, because I want to reward people for sticking around and hanging out this whole thing. So all right. So going once, going twice. Angelic, are you still in the house? All right, we're gonna give it to someone else. Here we go. Let's see. Who do we got? Class. Is Class still in? Glass, you still with us? I don't know. I got to start doing these raffles a little earlier because we get the drop off after the prompts. All right, going once, going twice. Let's see who gets it. It looks like it already picked Kyra. All right, Kyra, you still in the house? I don't know. I don't know. Do we still have our YouTube family here? Man, someone's got to get this thing. Going once, going twice. All right, let's see who's gonna get it. We're gonna keep going until someone here gets this thing. Helvina, are you still in the house? Our author. Not sure. Going once, going twice. Oh wait, Kyra's here. Okay, good. All right, so Kyra won it. All right, Kyra. I don't have your address, and I don't want you to share it in public. So, if you can, do me a solid and email me your address. Tell me where to send this thing. You can email me at alex@journalparty.com. Let me put that in here. You can also DM it to me on whatever platform. Let me just put the email in here for you. And cool, yeah, we'll get this sent off to you. If you guys haven't seen this, this is our Journal Party self-discovery deck. We got all these awesome journal prompt cards. So you just pick a card and you write. It's got prompts on it. You can also have your own journal parties with family and stuff, family and friends. So it's a good time. So anyway, thank you everyone for showing up. If you fancy one of these and you didn't win it this evening, I would like to let you know that we've actually got an early Black Friday sale going on at journalparty.com. Everything is 30% off site-wide right now. So definitely go check that out. Stock up on some journals. I'm trying to clear out our stickers and stuff. So we got a really good sticker bundle or build your own bundle thing going on, and all sorts of discounts and goodies going on for Black Friday, Cyber Monday here. So hopefully you guys check that out. Definitely helps us keep this party going. And the other thing that keeps us going is all of you all showing up week after week, being vulnerable and being good to each other. Really, if the world out there was like the one in here, man, wouldn't that be something? So, really, from the bottom of my heart, I appreciate it, and so. All right, it's time to sign off. Everyone have a wonderful evening. Have a wonderful Thanksgiving, and stay tuned and